The meeting last week of the Negev Forum working groups was a big success. It was the first meeting of the working groups, which was a direct follow-up to the meeting of the ministers of the Negev Forum in Israel last March. And we had 6 working groups on everything from food security to water security to health and tourism to regional security issues. And the charge we were given was that each working group was to come up with some concrete projects that they could take back to their capitals and begin work on. And I can say that across the board, we succeeded. There was a lot of good discussion about the way forward and some very practical ideas that are collectively going to make the lives of the people of the region better. And so we're very pleased with this first meeting of the working groups, and we're looking forward to having our ministers meet again soon in the near future to talk about the work of the working groups, but then also more that we can do together. It's a forum where we can bring together like-minded countries who have shared interests to talk about ways that we can work together on practical projects across the board. Obviously, regional security, we talk a lot about. Economic issues we talk a lot about, but also in health and in, again, tourism, food security, energy security. So we think there's great potential here, but we're still in the early stage. I mean, we have high ambitions for what we want to achieve, but it's been less than a year since the Negev process got underway. And this is, of course, direct outgrowth of the recent normalization decisions that have been taken by some Arab countries, by UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, but then also, of course, the historic ties that Egypt and Israel have had with one another. We think that there's potential in building stronger people-to-people, society-to-society, economy-to-economy relations throughout the region. I think the efforts that have been undertaken over the last several years to strengthen the regional cooperation on security issues have been absolutely critical. And our Department of Defense, our Central Command, has been leading efforts to improve maritime security and integrated air and missile defense in particular. This is something we've been working on for many years. When I served in the Pentagon a decade ago, we were talking to GCC partners about more tightly knitting the GCC together when it comes to the regional threat picture, as well as on air and missile defense. So we've made a lot of progress in the last 10 years, but there's a lot further to go. We talked about regional security issues as part of the Negev Forum, the Regional Security Working Group, which I co-chaired with our Bahraini counterparts, was a very good discussion. And we came up with many practical projects that we can work on together that's in no way replicates or is a substitute for the important work our defense ministries are doing with one another, but it's augmenting that work. And we think that because we have such shared security interests in terms of the threat from Iran, first and foremost, there's a lot we can be doing together. And in fact, we are doing a lot together. We very much hope that other countries will join the Negev Forum, because we believe that if the Negev Forum achieves its ambition, which is to come up with practical projects that are going to improve the lives of the everyday people throughout the region, that all countries would benefit from that. So we are very open to other countries joining. The United States and our partners in the Negev Forum will be talking to countries that are not yet part of the forum in the coming weeks about the possibility of them joining. These are going to be sovereign decisions that these governments will make, but we very much believe that the proof of concept that we've achieved, that the idea we can have this forum, it can be successful, it can come up with practical projects that will clearly benefit the people of the region, is going to help entice countries to make the decision to join. But ultimately, that will be their decision to make. And the success we have seen in the last few years since the Abraham Accords have been signed, and the normalization between, in particular, the UAE and Israel, and Morocco and Israel, has been a boom in tourism, in visits, in economic ties. And that's something I think is very positive, unquestionably positive, and something we seek to build on in the Negev Forum and broaden both to other members of the Negev Forum, but also the countries that are not yet part of the Negev Forum.